Hi everyone, welcome back. This is going to be my support vid for Zed Outdoors 100 subscriber milestone. Great job, Zed. Fantastic, mate. I think it's testament to the amount of support that you give other people through commenting on the channel and the positivity that you exude as to how quickly you've reached that milestone. So congratulations. Now, Zed wanted to see what you put in your overnight bag. So in the Bergen, just for 24-hour period. I'm nipping off for a cheeky little one in the woods, so here goes. In an effort to keep this as short as possible so it doesn't bore you lot to death, I've got everything laid out that's going to go into each pocket, and I'll just go through each one in turn. So I'll cut to each pocket as we go along. If anybody happens to want a full loadout laid out on the floor with a bit of an explanation as to each and every single item, then I can always do that. But you know, in an attempt to keep it as short as possible, I'll just go with packing everything as I go along. So this is the Bergen that was gifted to me by Sergeant Fruitcake. Absolutely amazing bit of kit. It's cavernous inside there, and what I've done just first of all is I've put the Arctic bag, British Arctic bag, straight into the rucksack, just for a matter of space really. But you know, everybody knows what an Arctic bag looks like. I can always take that out and show you if you want. And then down here in this particular pocket I've got wool blanket ready, the Survivor, and then underneath that I've got my tools and some cordage as well. On this side it's primarily things like food, Old Faithful, my flask, hammock chair, another cover, and another water bottle. And then in these top pockets, the inside one goes a few little bits and bobs, and then the outside one things that I want to get hold of quickly. So I'll cut to each bag, each pocket, and show you what goes in each one as we go along. Okay, so first Bergen pocket, rolled up wool blanket. That fits nicely inside that pocket there. And down the side is the hatchet. That's the Husqvarna hatchet. Then I've got my Condor bush law with animal tendencies neck lanyard. That goes nicely down the side as well. Barco Laplander in a Cordura sheath. That pops nicely in there as well. So that's all my tools and wool blanket, cordage bag, along with bungees and bits of string, all that kind of stuff. That fits nicely in that first pocket. And then what we do with the Survivor, let me just lift that up a bit. That then goes down, should go down the side nicely. There we go. That was a bit tougher than normal. And then I just wrap the strap around it like that, and off we go. So we've got a decent heavy duty saw. So that's that pocket there. Let's have a look at the other side. Okay, so this pocket then, I've got two of these boxes. These are, I say heavy duty clip lock boxes. They're food boxes. So for an overnighter, I could probably get away with just one of those with a few noodles and all that kind of business. But I've got two in there at the moment, so I could probably, you know, get away with 2 days worth of food in there. But two of those go in nicely. And then quite simply, first the water bottles in there. That is an emergency shelter, Mylar backed heavy duty one, folds and rolls up nicely into the other side, into the middle in fact. Then I've got my Old Faithful flask with a little cup. And what I'll tend to do in the colder months is I'll try and have brews little and often, rather than one big brew that gets cold. I'll make a whole brew up, put some in the flask, and then just pour the odd little cupful out into that one, so it keeps hotter for longer. And then simply the hammock chair goes in down that side. As you can see, got plenty of room for other stuff. if I wanted to put other things in there, but that one closes up like that. So that's the other rocket pouch. And then what we'll do is just have a look at the top of the Bergen. Okay, so inside the inside lid pocket, I don't tend to put an awful lot in there. People misjudge this particular pocket, thinking they can get more in there than they actually can, and I always find it works out to be a bit of a pain. So anyway, in there goes my Petzl Tactica 2. I've got roller bank line, relatively new one. Got my sharpening equipment, that's DC4, and the sharpening block that Stony Broke Bushcraft gave me back at the Bushcraft show last year. I got different grits of sandpaper in there and some wet and dry already on there as well. And then I tend to put my you know, doing your business in the woods pack, and it's literally just in a plastic carrier bag, and that goes in there as well. So it's reasonably easy accessible, and that just closes up like that. And then what I'll tend to do, move the camera around a bit, in this top lid section will go a Bergen cover, nicely packed up right in the end. In there is a pair of waterproof trousers. More often than not I wear a waterproof top or jacket anyway, so it's only really the trousers that I'm concerned about you know, taking on, putting off as the need arises, but they fit beautifully into there as well. And then I tend to have my gloves in that top pocket as well. Nice Viper gloves in the top pocket. And the first thing that is easily accessible is the first aid kit. It's a personal first aid kit, fits beautifully into that Maxpedition 6x4. But I know it doesn't say first aid on there and there's no big red cross, but you know, anybody that I'm with, I say to them as soon as we get together, first aid kit in the black Maxpedition pouch in the top, and everybody knows where it is. So that goes in there nicely. And then on top of there, what I'll do is just show you the items that I'll keep on my person. On my person will be Wessex Blades fire steel on a lanyard, and I've got my pocket knife or folding knife, which since last August has been the Bushcraft store Boar. Cracking knife, and a review of that will be coming up very, very soon. I've had that for what, 6-7 months now, and I think I'm in a position to do a bit of a review on that. So knife goes in there. Also in my pocket I will keep a bandana, large bandana. It's not quite the size of a chamois. I always find chamois are just that little bit too big for me. So this is one that I picked up from Military Mart. And it's just the right size, keep in your pocket, do all the things like taking pans off the fire. And then there's my possibles pouch. Lost the fire still. Possibles pouch. I won't go through all the contents in there, but I'll show you some of it in one of the next videos coming up. If anybody wants to see it, nothing exciting these days, but I'll do a video on it if you want. So that's everything that will go on my person, on my belt, on the belt of the Bergen. You know, easily accessible. So now we'll cut over to the main pocket. I always like to do the outside pockets first. Quite often you'll find if you filled the main part of the Bergen or rucksack first, it will push all the sides out and you won't necessarily get everything as easy or as accessibly into the side pockets. So it's just something I found works for me, is to fill the side pockets first. In fact, before we have a look at that, let's go to the other outer pocket and we'll just show you the cook kit of choice for this occasion. Alright, so front pocket, the heavy cover I've folded and I gave in to peer pressure on these things. They're not cheap, but they are exceptionally good to use with the old cup, so I went and bought one. That sits nicely in the bottom. Then the Crusader cup in after that. Another water bottle. And then I put the plastic cup in there as well. It goes with it, so why not? Doesn't take up any additional space. And as I say, I've got room for my my spoon, which will go down in the side there. I'm going to go and pick that up in a minute from the other cook set. So that's that. That's the front pocket, cooking items. Now we'll fill up the main part. So everything that's going to go in the main part of the Bergen has been laid out on this chair next to the Bergen, and I'll put it in reverse order. Obviously, well, from my mind, I don't know who it was, but somebody said have the heavier items at the top, on the top of your shoulders. I can't see the point of that, and I'm quite happy to be put right if I've been doing it wrong all these years. But for my mind, when you're carrying a Bergen this big, personally I want the heavier items at the bottom towards my back. It's nearest my centre of gravity. The weight is on the waist belt and not on my shoulders, where I could be swaying about, and if I've got to duck and bend under trees, you know, it's harder to keep control of the heavier items at the top. But that's just me. So if anybody else puts the heavier items at the top and I'm doing it wrong, tell me, then that's fine. The other thing, just to mention, I put a little light on there as well. Been doing that for years, just one of these little lights. And I know the guys Funky and Roach mentioned about doing this as well not that long ago. But it's a really handy little thing if you're in the dark, just to be able to see in your bag. So that's on the cord. So let's find the best way of doing this. That should do it just there. Sorry about the little bit of shadow. Let's try and turn you around a bit. So as I say, cold weather. The first thing I'm going to put in on top of my sleeping bag, which is going to be the last thing that comes out, is my my booties. I think I paid about £9 or something for those, but they are absolutely invaluable, and they just go in loose, literally on the top of the sleeping bag, nice and easy. Next thing that will go in after that is the foil mat. It's not one of the car windscreen ones, this is a specific camping one, but it's flat as anything, goes inside the hammock, nice and easy as well. Next thing I'll put in is some spare clothes. I've got a Norgie top in there, probably see that, and a pair of trousers. That'll fit in there. And I've got the blow up Campri inflatable mat for £7 that I paid for this. It's about 7 or 8 centimetres thick, absolutely brilliant bit of kit. Not the widest in the world, but it works. After that we'll put a little Sundries pack. I'll show you what's inside there. There's a candle for the UCO lantern. I've got the lantern that I got from Mark, wind up radio, and the UCO candle lantern itself, just with an extra little spare candle on there. That will go in the side. So I'm hoping you can see how well that's kind of fitting in there. Packs in beautifully. And then on top of that I might put, for example, my hammock, say heavier item towards the back, and then I've got my bed kit. I won't show you what's in the bed kit, but there's a few items in there. If anybody wants to see it, let me know and I will show you. And as you can see, there's probably, you know, even room for a bit more food, a couple of beers, you know, whatever I want to take with me. So once that's all packed in there, I've got my cover to go, but I've got my sleeping arrangement: hammock, wall blanket, sleeping bag, bed kit, food, water, cooking equipment, sundries and all that sort of business. Once I've done that, I'm going to seal up the bag on that top string, push all the air out, and once that's done, the last item that goes in, my DD 3x3 tarp. Right on the top, easily accessible. It means if it's wet, it's been a rainy night, I don't have to put it back in a bag with other things. Cinch that down, close her up. Sorry for jiggling the camera about. And that basically is my overnight kit. It's not the lightest in the world. I could probably do with taking a few items out, but it works for me. So there you go, guys. Hope that's alright, Zed. Congratulations once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.